They are role models. Who are the models they follow on social media? And why do we not care? We've been saying this for a very long time, that there is need for all of us to continue to monitor and check the kind of people we call celebrities in our society. These girls apparently may have not learned these things from their immediate biological parents. It might have been from some social media celebrities that they follow. How to twerk, how to do all of these things. The so-called ones who motivate them to say boss lady, oga, you know. You listen to all of those things and you wonder where they come from. We were not interrogating all these things all the while. We allowed all of these things to slide, and they have their social trappings on the youngsters who are watching them. I remember a time when I interviewed one guy at university, because I studied psychology at the University of Lagos. This guy called Idris Okune. You guys know him as Bobrisky. And he got to a point I asked him, don't you think you should seek psychological help? Like, you have GID. There's something called GID, gender identity disorder. Don't you think you need to seek help psychologically? And that was the end of the interview, long and short. And then those who saw the interview said, "Oh, Shegu, you were not interviewing the guy, you were interrogating him." I said, "Well, I just felt I needed to introduce an intervention for him to get help, because the guy apparently needs help." Gender identity disorder is a concept that describes people who are physically a particular gender, but psychologically they feel uncomfortable in that gender representation. They feel they belong to another gender, trapped in the body of another gender. So psychologically they feel they are one gender. They feel, "Oh, I should be female. I feel like I'm female, but I'm trapped in the wrong body." So when I told Bobrisky that year, people said, "Oh, that was interrogation, you confronted." I said, "I'm just trying to help him." Oh, it was only last week we heard, or I read, some of you can also Google it, that they said, "Oh, he has finally had to undergo surgery." I understand it's SRP, because that's the usual thing they do for people who have GID. SRP, sex reassignment procedure. So finally he has become female. So initially they thought I was fighting him, but I was trying to help him. But that's not where I'm going. Where I'm going is this. That guy at that time, he was using that circumstance, that condition. It was most time, and that leads me to the second point. Most of these celebrities are depressed. So because of the advantage of social media, they just come online, just trying to get they're just trying to get likes, just trying to get shares, trying to get comments to make them momentarily escape these problems. That's why they come online. They try to use social media to cover, for their problems. And young people who are watching them do not know that these people are only trying to escape certain mood. That time they are posting those nasty things, they start copying it. Funny enough, most of these parents may not even know the celebrities that their children follow on social media. So it's important that you check on your child, occasionally. Oh, who are the celebrities you follow? Can I check? Can I also look at them? Because you don't know the celebrities they know. Some parents don't know James Brown. Of course, they always hide under this cross-dresser, excuse. But you don't know what psychological disorder these people are trapped in. And people, innocent children, are copying it without knowing these people are depressed. Many celebrities you see online are depressed. They are just using social media to cover. They get the likes, they share the comments momentarily to come out, which is, I don't have a problem with it. But we must guide our children to know that people like this in most cases are just depressed. Don't go and copy these nasty things. We are not telling them. So the celebrities or the role models that we leave our children to be exposed to are also their parents. So it's not only biological parents. We leave them to many parents they learn from on social media. Now, the other point I must make is that there's another thing common with us especially in this part of the world. We always scratch things on the surface. Scratch on the surface in the sense that, look at it now. Everybody will start running towards, failed parenting, failed parenting, failed parenting. We are not looking at the depth. For instance, I give an example. You see parents or the society largely saying, like there's the book someone gave me last week and I read, because another thing is we don't link our children with readers or mentors who read. Readership is important. Introduce books to them. There was a book somebody gave me last week. I'm yet to complete, but I read some parts, and it was trying to distinguish between feminism and feminists. It was at that point I understood, wow. Feminism is a multidisciplinary approach to help to balance some kind of opportunities and things that are exposed to the male child that are not necessarily given same opportunity not necessarily given to the female child. So the concept of trying to make sure that the female child are also given equal opportunities, and let us also see and allow the girl child also compete favorably. It's contrary to what the so-called feminists you see on social media are claiming they are. Feminists, unfortunately, are majority of people who have developed hatred for the male. So feminists, in most cases, are people who have adopted, some nurtured hatred for. So for feminists, you must hate the male in order to advance the cause of feminism. No, very wrong. Now, scratching on the surface, as I was talking about, is that when we were advocating feminism, gender equality, and the likes, we abandoned or neglected the boy child. We did not go deeper. Little did we know that in order for us to achieve the goal central to feminism, we must also make sure that the boy child is also tutored and mentored. We are not teaching the boy child how to love, how to care. You only want to single out the girl child and see her as the victim and only tutor the girl child. She will still fall in the hand of a guy at the end of the day. And if that guy has not also been trained or nurtured or tutored, the girl child will still be victim no matter what you have taught. She will end up miserable. So, central to this course, the boy child too, importantly, must be tutored, trained, mentally equipped, psychologically guided, how to love, how to defend, how to protect. See every female as sister, potential mother, daughter, that you must protect and defend at all time, not perceived as object of frivolities, sex, and Because the orientation as we speak right now is different. The way the boy child is made to perceive the girl is wrong, too erroneous. So if we must protect the girl child, we must also train the boy child, guide them how to love, how to take care, how to defend, how to protect the girl child, so that you won't have to worry about spending years investigating the character of the man your girl will fall in or fall with. In most cases, you have almost less than 80% chance to control who your girl child will fall with. But if the society has taken it as duty to guide every male child, to teach every male child how to love, how to protect the girl child, you are most likely going to be happy that your girl child is going to fall in the hand of a man who has been trained, who has been nurtured, because the society has taken it up as a priority to make sure that all boy children are sensitized. So again, this Chrisland school issue, we just hope that we don't also let it slide or let the opportunity pass us by again by only taking the matter on the surface without looking at the depth again. Is that every crisis like this is an opportunity to revisit the crux of the matter and redesign the lessons that we are plucking or investing thereof. Unfortunately, this is Nigeria. Tomorrow will be another topic. would have slid past, we just move past this one and say, and then we'll go on. So, start checking. Who is your daughter following on? Not only the daughter, even the boy child. I won't be surprised if the person who introduced this act to the girl in question was not even a peer and is not even necessarily a female. Before she started learning from other females later, the first encounter, who was it with? I haven't seen the video, but from the comments, feedbacks I've read and reactions, it does appear that girl has some experience prior to that incident. Because according to the comments I've read, she was riding like a pro. I haven't seen the video, and I'm not even looking for it, because I also understand that more than people are looking for solution to Nigeria's problem, they are looking, if you go on Google now, you see a lot of people already searching for Chrisland girl video. That's what they're searching for. Unfortunately, our moral fabrics are already in tatters. If you now see the naked or the riding by that girl, that 10-year-old girl, or some are saying from what they saw she couldn't be 10 years old. Well, whatever the age, she's a minor. Apparently, I saw the screenshots. Because a lot of people were afraid to upload the video, so they would just screen grab, and then they were sharing previous videos of social media uploads. And I could say, okay, probably she's not 10 as some people are suggesting. But regardless, what would we do if we see what would we do with the video? Just another pornography. It's just another porn. Shut up. But what are we making of it? Who introduced her to such acts? How did she become a pro at that age? Well, as the parent check, who are you following on social media? What are you learning? When last? So that's another lesson we must speak. Let's recommend for our children, for our brothers, for our sisters. Oh, have you seen so page? Oh, they educate on this and that. Recommend for them. Ask them to also recommend for you. Our own parents were not educated. And yet, my first experience, I was already 27 or so before I knew anything about it. Yeah. Not that I didn't know, but we were afraid, Even from Sunday school, they make you feel like, oh, Jesus will not be happy with you. If you go near her, she'll be pregnant. And you're like, oh, I will destroy my future. I don't want to be a father, and I don't want to put another person in problem. We fled from these things. They scared us so much. How come it was parents who were not educated? Now, we are civilized. And children under 15. What are we feeding our children with? What are we feeding our children with? What moral education? What information? What role models are we attaching them with? Most of these celebrities you see on social media are depressed. They are just using the social media to cover. And innocent young children are copying them. It's unfortunate. Go and look at the following of the Bobriskis of this world and co. Somebody suffering from one problem. It be gender identity disorder. Imagine. And the young people innocently be copying that. It's a problem. So please, I don't want to talk too much. Let's always recommend for our children who to follow, so that they can learn. And at the same time, let us also ask them who they are following, so that they should recommend for us too. Don't pretend to be too holy. Understand that they are already exposed. The moment they grab a phone, a technological device that has access to internet or social media, just know they are already exposed. Don't pretend like, Suggest to them, teach them, like, do you know this guy that normally does this on social media? Do you know this girl that normally wears this skimpy dress? Teach them, let them open up, so that you can guide them. They know a lot that you don't know. They know what you don't know. Some parents don't know James Brown, not the James Brown of that sci-fi film. No, the James Brown that hacks around under the guise of being a cross-dresser. That one is also influencing a lot of young minds now. Yeah. Many parents don't know, but these children know. Ask them. And guide them properly. Guide them. Ask them. And let them understand that most of the celebrities they see on social media are not well. No, they are not. Because if they were, okay, a particular celebrity has how many millions of followers now? And in less than 6 months, she has changed husband twice. In less than a year, she has changed husband twice. Whether it was framing that she framed the former husband up, left that husband, claimed that it was domestic violence, so she left. Snatched her friend's husband, married that one. And now she's in less than 2-3 months, she's out of that husband's house again, and she's a model, a celebrity. Who are those over 2 million people following her? Your children might be among. And what do you think they are learning or gaining? Check. Because if somebody we're not to be sick, or we're not sick, in less than how many months, and those are the people your children are following, and you are not worried. A question someone asked the other day, that how come young women are leaving their husbands' houses under claims of whether violence or whatever. In most cases, when the man is broke, they can't cope anymore, they claim violence, they leave. You are now going back to your own mother's house, who is still in her own husband's house. You divorce your own husband, a young woman, marriage of less than 5 years. You divorce, you go your mama house, your mama sit there her own husband's house. And we are not worried. Like I said, the advocacy to protect the girl child or to advance feminism is incomplete by leaving the boy child behind. You must carry them together along. The advocacy must carry the boy, in fact, let the boy child be at the center of feminism. Feminism should not mean hatred for the boy child. No. Because no matter how self-reliant, self-sufficient, boss lady, independent, whatever, no matter what you become, one day, the day you decide to fall in love, if you fall in the hand of a guy who grew up in a miserable way, it will affect you. So the advocacy is incomplete to say you want feminism, gender balance, equality, equity, and this, and without catering for the boy child. You can't leave the boy child behind, because somebody will be his victim later in future, if not now. A girl will be victim of that boy child. A girl, a lady, potential woman. So we must stop scratching surfaces. And we are all culpable. We are all of us. Pastors, imams. Let me just leave it there for now. Thank you so much for listening to my rant.